Welcome to the AR Studios, New York City, where we're all here tonight to hear a concert by Don Mclean. We have about 200 people here. Would you care to just let them know you're here? We're here tonight to hear the music of Don Mclean, who is currently doing very well with a song called American Pie, an album by the same name. And it's come a long way from the Hudson River. Tonight's uninterrupted concert is brought to you by the Uncolas 7-Up. And go on if you want to. Sure, why not? 7-Up is called the Uncola because it's unlike a cola. For one thing, it's not brown, it's clear, like its taste, clean and fresh. And for another thing, it's not made from cola nuts. 7-Up is made from lemons, limes, and things like that. And yeah, right. 7-Up is unlike a cola in name, too. Other soft drinks are called this a cola or that a cola. But because they're colas, naturally enough. But 7-Up is called the 7-Up because it's an up. To try and remember how many rotten times you've had drinking 7-Up. Probably less than 4, no doubt, but that's because it's very difficult not to enjoy things when you're drinking something that tastes good like 7-Up does. It's New Year's Eve in a couple of days, and many people will drink things and drive home drunk, and the Uncola urges you that if you must drink, don't drive, or if you must drive, don't drink, or if you must drive and drink, at least drink 7-Up to help ensure that your new year is really a happy one. And now ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here's Don Mclean.
Water. She asks you why, you can tell her that I told you that I'm tired of castles in the air. I've got a dream I want the world to share, and castle walls just lead me to despair. Hills of forest green where the mountains touch the sky, a dream come true. I'll live there till I die. I'm asking you to say my last goodbye. The love we knew ain't worth another try. Save me from all the trouble and the pain. I know I'm weak, but I can't face that girl again. Tell her the reasons why I can't remain. Perhaps she'll understand if you tell it to her plain. How can words express the feel of sunlight in the morning in the hills, away from city strife? I need a country woman for my wife. I'm city born, but I love the country life. For I will not be part of her cocktail generation partner's waltz, devoid of all romance. The music plays and everyone must dance. I'm bowing out, I need a second chance. Save me from all the trouble and the pain. I know I'm weak, but I can't face that girl again. And tell her the reasons why I can't remain. Perhaps she'll understand if you tell it to her plain. And if she asks you why, you can tell her that I told you that I'm tired of castles in the air. I've got a dream I want the world to share in castle walls. Just lead me to despair. Place with me, and time has proven that I'm right. There's no place I'd rather be than at your place for the night. No time can pass your sight unseen. No moment steals away unfound. A lifetime lived in such a dream floats like a feather to the ground. And for the first time I've been seeing the things I'd never noticed without you. And for the first time I'm discovering the things I used to treasure about you. The birds like leaves on Winterwood sing hopeful songs on dismal days. They've learned to live life as they should. They are at peace with nature's ways. You are as natural as the night, and all that springs from you is good. And the children born beneath your light are like the birds on Winterwood. And for the first time I've been seeing the things I'd never noticed without you. Discovering the things I used to treasure about you. Probably a lot of people out there who think that a situation like this, having a concert recorded and having people in the room to listen to it, is unnatural. And they're right. But I guess there are a lot of unnatural things that we've grown to take for granted. And perhaps that isn't always a good thing. I used to like to go to nightclubs. Every so often I'd sneak down, look and see what's happening. But more and more I think there are fewer places where people can learn music and just love it, you know. I was lucky in the sense that I had people to learn from who had been playing music for many, many years before they either died or quit or something. I guess a long time ago people didn't get so famous as fast as they do these days. You think about fame, it's sort of like the man who was run out of town, tarred and feathered, and carried out on a rail. And he asked, what's it like? And he said, well, if it weren't for the honor other thing, I might just as well have walked. This is a song that I learned from Josh White, who was one of the first people I ever learned guitar from a long time ago. He used to play it in his nightclub act. It's called Where Were You, Baby, When My Heart Went Out, and I've tried to keep the guitar pretty much the way he used to do it because it's fun, first of all, trying to play the way he did. Also hurts your fingers. Fancy boudoirs and searched through window grace, but I only saw Republicans romancing southern states. And where were you, baby, when my heart went out? You left me, baby, in all this darkness and doubt. Now I've tried to replace you with a streetwalker named Desire, but prices up so high, I couldn't afford to try her. It takes you, my baby, to put my fire out. You left me, baby, in all this darkness and doubt. Tonight I think I'm gonna take some good advice. I'm gonna look around and find me somebody that's really nice. Well, perhaps a banker's daughter. And if her papa's a cuss, well, I hope to do to her what her papa does to us. And we'll have a fancy shack and a fancy Cadillac, and she'll be studying to be a nymphomaniac. And we'll have a little rye and play a little gin. We'll have another rye and we'll play a little more gin. And then we'll have another rye just to get a little glow. We'll have another rye just to make the conversations flow. Then we'll have another rye and we'll play a little gin. We'll have another rye and we'll tune some music in. And then we'll have another gin and we'll play a little rye. And we'll suddenly realize that we're getting kind of high. And then we'll turn the lights down low to keep the bulbs from getting hot. And we'll play a little game called Yes, No. Why not? But tonight I think I'm gonna find me something swell so I can wake up in the morning miserable as hell. Now when butter costs $1 and bread costs more than cake, come back soon, cause think of what a gal like you could make. Yes, come back, baby, and don't ever say that we're through, cause this time, woman, I'd like to walk right out on you.
You're listening to the John McLean Concert live in stereo on WPLJ.
On the first floor, on the first floor, on the first floor, there's a young girl reeling, her body's numb and without feeling, as illusions dance on the midnight ceiling. Now she's falling, now she's kneeling. It's almost like she's bowed in prayer, a savior she's about to bear. She calls for help, but no one's there. On the first floor, first floor, people walk the halls, but none can hear her desperate calls. There is no sound beyond the walls, so to the telephone she crawls. She telephones her only friend, the one on whom she can depend, but the phone rings on without an end, then rings no more. On the first floor, there's a party on the second floor, and through the picture window you can see them all. They're laughing and they're dancing, admiring the Renoir that's hanging on the wall. But in the master bedroom where the coats are piled high, a silent satin lady thinks of what it's like to die. And as she dwells on all the years she still has left to face, she wonders how she'll ever find someone to take his place. And suddenly she's jarred by the ringing of the phone. Why do you ring now, just when I want to be alone? So she walks to the faucet, takes some water from a cup. But the telephone stops ringing just before she picks it up. Very poor, so I worked hard to be secure. And I married one I had to wed, not the one I loved instead. For when I was young, my blood ran wild, but we stayed married for the child. Now 3 flights up, I'm all alone. My wife is gone, my child is grown. My daughter leads a wayward life. I guess she's been a failure as a wife. Though she lives just 1 floor down, she never calls or comes around. Step off the platform and onto the train. Look out your window and into the rain, and watch all the buildings that pass as you ride, and count all the stories that go on inside, and then ask yourself if it must be this way. Should walls and doors and plaster ceilings separate us from each other's feelings? Before you can do a gig like this, you have to sign a paper that swears you won't curse. You know what the fine is for cursing on the air? 10 grand or 2 years. Take your pick. Which is under the box? Come on. It's like, let's make a deal. It'll be 10 grand or 2 years. I think I'll take the 2 years. I'll take 6 months and 5 grand. How's that? Whatever you can do. Snapping away. Everything is weird. Come on. They have echo on everything. It's fantastic. There they are in the booth looking out. It seems like you're in a... This is what the fish must feel like down at Silver Lake in Florida. People looking, look at that one. It's a banjo fish. This whole scene can make you very paranoid. As Ed Sanders says, though, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not trying to get you. People, Americans especially, are incensed over the fact that we're a violent nation, specifically more violent than most. This is fantastic water, by the way. I think they got it out of a bottle or something. It's an interesting thing that Alan Lomax, in putting his book together, decided that about 60% of the songs that made it over from Europe and landed in our American repertoire contain the theme of a man murdering his lover and shoveling her into her grave, and then riding home under the cover of darkness, not to be found out. And sort of songs like Frankie and Johnny were the great American staples. They reflect what it is that we are. But I think we're more than that, too. We can, I guess, be a country of velvet and steel. Great contrast. I play the banjo every so often when I get onto my American jag. And it's the only American instrument there is, I guess, besides the ukulele, which... It's only a recent addition. Has its origins in Africa. It always freaks me out every time I see a George Wallace campaign with some cat playing bluegrass. If you only knew. Get that racist instrument off the stage. First of all, you're out of tempo. Second, here, we'll really do it now. You're worse now, man. This guy's over here. That you're clapping. Want to try singing this song? Hello. Tower, two people. This is a round, which I'm going to divide you into 3 parts and see if we can do it. Now, what I want to do is all of you out there in New York City, you in the Bronx, take the first part. Queens, second. Manhattan, the third. Just remember where you are, and I'll lead you off. Queens, Bronx, Manhattan. Well, all the boroughs will be harmonizing and in perfect unity. And you people here will be kind of a norm, a microcosm of the entire city by the time we're through. So ready, Queens? Queens, pay very good attention to the banjo, because that's what cues you as to what's happening. In Bronx, you just wait till I get to you. Stop yelling. You'll get your turn. Try it with me. We'll all learn it, and then I'll divide you up. And all the boroughs try it together now. Here we go. By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, remember thee, Zion. Brooklyn's not doing it at all. We'll try it again, and just sing it good and loud. Don't be ashamed. The lights are off. Nobody will find out. By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, remember thee, Zion. You want to try it again? You have to do it really loud, and there's like some vocal, tricky, melodic passages that sort of tend to mess you up, but pay attention and sing it good and loud, and when the time comes to divide you up, you won't look like an idiot. Here we go. By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, remember thee, Zion. Okay, now comes the great test. I'm going to divide everybody up. 3 parts. we'll pretend it's like a V here, extending out, and this portion over here will be Queens. We have the Bronx in there, and Manhattan. Brooklyn, you'll just have to watch and sing along wherever you fit. All right? There, right in there. That's the kind of thing it is, the tri-borough audience. Now I'll start you off, and I'll point to each one at the right time when you're supposed to come in. And if you forget your part, don't sing somebody else's. We'll sort of come back and see what happens. Okay, you are going to start off first. Look at how scared they are. Here we go. You have to sing especially loud because you're a minority, and we have all these other people in the center here. Manhattan is going to beat the crap out of you. Okay, here we go. By the waters of Babylon. By the waters of Babylon. Where's the we lay down and wept? You lay down and stopped. People in audiences tend to be like television oriented, you know, commercial. 7-Up. All right, here we go. By the waters of Babylon, lay down and wept for thee, Zion, by the remember thee, Zion.
You're listening to
Queens, you were
WPLJ in stereo,
fantastic.
New
I
York.
just want to tell you, I heard every note. If you really want to do it, you almost got it. This second right, this section right in here is a little bit too heavy. So what I'm going to do is thin you out a little bit. Just sort of more of you sort of get over into this side and then the middle and that. And I want to let you do it by yourself because, you know, people are really, I don't think they're as aware as they should be of the fact that they can make music too. You sounded really nice for about 2 seconds, and then it all fell apart. Here we go. We'll start off again. By the waters of Babylon. By the waters of Babylon. By the waters of Babylon. We lay down and courted pretty Polly the livelong night. I courted pretty Polly the livelong night and left her next morning before it was light. Pretty Polly, won't you come along with me? Pretty Polly, won't you come along with me? Before we get married, some pleasure to see. She jumped up behind him and away they did go. Jumped up behind him and away they did go, over the hills to the valleys below. They went a little bit further and what did she spy? They went a little bit further and what did she spy? But a new dug grave with a spade lying by. Oh Willie, I'm afraid of your ways. Oh Willie, I'm afraid of your ways. I'm afraid you will lead my poor body astray. Pretty Polly, you've guessed just about right. Pretty Polly, you've guessed just about right. I dug on your grave the best part of last night. He stabbed her to the heart, her heart's blood it did flow. Stabbed her to the heart, her heart's blood it did flow. Down into the grave, pretty Polly did go. He throwed a little dirt over her and started for home. Throwed a little dirt over her and started for home, leaving only the wild doves for to moan. A debt to the devil poor Willie must pay. A debt to the devil poor Willie must pay for killing pretty Polly and running away. The angels are lost in the city of stars. Wise men are down on their knees, and the fruit man of freeway will sell you his cars when he's sure that you can't find the keys. And the ladies on Magdalene Lane all worship the sun and the sand, and the migrants who come can't complain, for this is their promised land. La 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 la. MGM Studios can't make the nut. They're auctioning Dorothy's shoes. Gable is gone, the good witch is a slut, and I've got the parking lot blues. The wizard brought Ben's a dream smiles, and he never let Dorothy doze. She died as she walked down the aisle, and all that remains clothes. Over the rainbow, a Kansas tornado can twist up a little girl's head. And M's on relief, and the Tin Man's a thief, and even the wizard can't wake the dead. La 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 la. The prophet has come to this kingdom of lights, but there's no one to listen or learn. And the Savior performs for the prophet's delight, while dissenters are banished or burned. And the heretics beg to be heard, but the Savior's on tour for the weak. Salvation is found in His word, if only he'd learn how to speak. And Lincoln is laughing with Amos and Andy concerning the great Civil War. And Paul Revere sleeps with the worst-looking creeps while revolution's knocking at his door. La 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 la. Magdalene Lane is the red light domain where everyone's soul is for sale. Piece of your heart will do for a start. You can send us the rest in the mail. For we have our own families to feed, and we can't let them starve just for you. But we'd rather not watch while you bleed. So come back in an hour when you're through. It's just another city full of sorrow. Makes no difference why I came. And I only know I'm leaving here tomorrow. Only the motel man knows my name. Every thread of creation is held in position by still other strands of things living in an earthly tapestry hung from the skyline of smoldering cities, so gray and so vulgar as not to be satisfied with their own negativity, but needing to touch all the living as well. And every breeze that blows kindly is one crystal breath we exhale on the blue diamond heaven, as gentle to touch as the hands of the healer, as soft as farewells whispered over the coffin. We're poisoned by venom with each breath we take from the brown sulfur chimney and the black highway snake. And every dawn that breaks golden is held in suspension like the yolk of the egg in albumin, where the birth and the death of unseen generations are interdependent in vast orchestration and painted in colors of tapestry thread. When the dying are born and the living are dead. Every pulse of your heartbeat is one liquid moment that flows through the veins of your being, like a river of life flowing on since creation, approaching the sea with each new generation. You're now just a stagnant and rancid disgrace that is rapidly drowning this whole human race. And every fish that swims silent, every bird that flies freely, and every doe that steps softly, every crisp leaf that falls, all the flowers that grow on this colorful tapestry, somehow they know that if man is allowed to destroy all we need, he will soon have to pay with his life for his greed.
We're listening to the John McClane Concert live in stereo on WPLJ New York.
I'm going to play a very old song that people get very involved in the meanings of lyrics. And for them, I have a song which was written in the 30s, sung by Bobby Short, who's a pop singer in the old sense, you know. And he digs up songs almost in the way that a person putting together an archive of music would look around to find very special versions of things. This is called On the Amazon, and it's dedicated to New York City, Queens in particular. There's a danger zone, not a stranger zone. Then the little plot I walk on that I call my home, full of eerie sights, weird and scary sights, every vicious animal that creeps and crawls and bites. On the Amazon, the prophylactics prowl. On the Amazon, the hypodermics howl. On the Amazon, you'll hear a scarab scowl and sting. Zodiacs on the wing, all the stalactites and vicious vertebrae join the stalagmites with laryngitis spray. Then the acolytes who come from Paroquet in spring, starving equinox among the rocks will seize you, and the Fahrenheit that comes out at night to freeze you. Wild duodenum are lurking in the trees, and the jungles swarm with green apostrophes. Oh, the Amazon is calling me. On the Amazon, the Pax Vobiscum bite. On the Amazon, the epiglottis fight. On the Amazon, the hemispheres at night all slink. Where the agnostics drink, all the hippodromes that lie concealed in mud join the metronomes that live in swamp and flood. Then the Kodachromes come out and drink their blood, poor ginks. While the velocipedes among the weeds will scare you, and the menopause with hungry jaws ensnares you. Frenzied adenoids infest the hills and slopes, everyone avoids the deadly stethoscopes. Oh, the Amazon is calling, yes, the Amazon is calling. Oh, the Amazon is calling me. There are, it seems, more than ever, substitutes for things in our world, whether it's substitutes for leather. They have shoes made out of Corafam, so you squeak along down the street, but you get it for a lot less, so people buy it. There's substitutes for all kinds of things. There are substitutes for people that walk around. There are substitutes for love and substitutes for hate. The substitutes for love are the ones that worry me the most, I think. It's an interesting poem by Sandburg about the subject, which I think covers it better than any I've ever read. There's a place where love begins and a place where love ends. There's a touch of two hands that foils all dictionaries. There's a look that love has as fierce as a big Bethlehem open hearth furnace or a tiny green fire settling torch. There are single careless bywords, portentous as a big bend in the Mississippi River. Hands, eyes, bywords. Out of these, love makes battlegrounds and workshops. There's a pair of shoes that love wears, and their coming is often a mystery. There's a warning love sends, and the cost of it is never written until long, long afterwards. There are descriptions of love in every language, but none is found to be wiser than this. There's a place where love begins, and a place where love ends, and love asks nothing. Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils, catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left in sight on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, This world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met. The ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Now you sang so beautifully on Babylon. Here's your chance to redeem yourself. Why don't you try this chorus with me? And I don't believe you don't know it. Here we go. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die. Come on. This'll be the day that I die. One more time. This time I want to see you wake up. Come on now. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride, but something touched me deep inside the day the music died. So bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Now do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage punkin' buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, but I knew I was out of luck the day the music day that I die. This will be the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. Why, when the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, and a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned, no verdict was returned, and while Lennon read a book on Marx, a quartet practiced in the park, and we sang dirges in the dark. The day the music died, we were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, and singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. Helter-skelter in the summer swelter, the birds flew off with a fallout shelter, 8 miles high and falling fast. It landed foul on the grass. The players tried for a forward pass, with the jester on the sidelines in a cast. Now the halftime air was sweet perfume, while the sergeants played a marching tune. We all got up to dance, oh, but we never got the chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. Do you recall what was revealed the day the music died? We started singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. Oh, and there we were all in one place, a generation lost in space, with no time left to start again. So come on, Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. Jack Flash sat on a candlestick, 'cause fire is the devil's only friend. Oh, and as I watched him on the stage, my hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan's spell. And as the flames climbed high into the night to light the sacrificial rite, I saw Satan laughing with delight the day the music died. He was singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away. And I went down to the sacred store where I'd heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. And in the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried, and the poets dreamed, but not a word was spoken. The church bells all were broken, and the 3 men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, why, they caught the last train for the coast the day the music died. and they were singing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. They were singing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, and singing, this'll be the day that I die.
WPLJ, New York.
Don McLean. Okay, there'll be more in a minute. There'll be more in a minute. Don McLean will be back in just a moment. But first, I'd like to take out time for this word. For years, 7-Up was considered by just about everyone to be a great mixer. Period. That's it. And nobody gave it much of a thought when it came to ordering soft drink with a hamburger or truffles. Well, then 7-Up came up with the Uncola. And now when you're ordering lunch, you might order 7-Up too, because all by itself, 7-Up goes great with truffles. All of which is very nice, but 7-Up is still the best mixer around too. So whatever you're celebrating, New Year's, your birthday, Tuesday, you probably have a party somewhere along the line, and don't forget to get yourself some 7-Up as a mixer. And by the way, there's another soft drink who suggests that you try their drink hot. 7-Up tastes terrible hot. So don't be left out in the cola. Get yourself some 7-Up and share it with a friend. This holiday season, give unto others, and maybe they'll return the flavor. Once again, Don McLean.
Going to come back on and burp. I've got nothing on my mind, nothing to remember, nothing to forget, and I've got nothing to regret, but I'm all tied up on the inside. No one knows quite what I've got, and I know that on the outside, what I used to be, I'm not anymore. You know, I've heard about people like me, but I never made the connection. They walk one road to set them free, and find they've gone the wrong direction. But there's no need for turning back, 'cause all roads lead to where I stand. And I believe I walk them all, no matter what I may have. Can you remember who I was cast this darkness from my soul. You alone can light my way. You alone can make me whole once again. We've walked both sides of every street, through all kinds of windy weather, but that was never our defeat, as long as we could walk together. So there's no need for turning back, 'cause all roads lead to where we stand. And I believe we'll walk them all, no matter what we may have planned. Thanks a lot.
Don McLean. Wish to thank everyone and wish everyone a Happy New Year from 7-Up the Uncola. I also like to thank Phil Ramone, who produced this concert this evening, the engineer Elliot Shiner, and you for being such a great audience. Yeah, give yourself a hand. Even though you sing a lousy round. And everyone involved in the past year with making the WPLJ monthly concert series a reality. Thank you. Good night.